Hey guys, it's Sarah, and in today's video we're going to be going back in time a little bit and talking about my favorite products from a year ago. I'm going to be sharing whether or not they are still favorites today. I really enjoy filming these videos every so often to update you on my previous favorites from a year ago. It's a good way for me to share if my thoughts have changed. I do feel like with most things that I try, my opinion of it does change over time. It just kind of happens that way, and I tend to feel like I kind of have to stick to whatever I said about that product the first time, when in reality, like, my preferences are always changing. Products can change the more you use them, so it's a good way to just kind of keep you posted on my feelings on all these products. So I decided to go ahead and combine August and September's favorites from last year. So let's go ahead and start with August. I think this must have been around the time that I was really getting into Jordana makeup. I remember doing like a Jordana best and worst video around this time last year, and that was when I discovered a bunch of my favorite Jordana products. And I actually think I am going to be doing a full face of Jordana very soon, probably in the next week or so. I just ordered a few more things that I needed to put together a full face, so stay tuned for that. But one of my favorites last August was the Jordana Sculpt and Go Contour Stick in the shade Light, and I have not shut up about this product since then, so I think you guys already know that this is definitely still a favorite. I'm actually wearing it today. It's actually in my project pan. I just love it so much. I've been enjoying panning it, and I've actually really worn it down quite a bit. This is something I can definitely see myself using up. This is just a really great, not too dark and not too warm contour color. It's very kind of neutral to cool toned, and it never looks muddy on my cheeks. It blends out really nicely, and yeah, I just have nothing but good things to say about it. It comes in a light, medium, and deep, and one of you guys told me that the light shade was out of stock on their website, so I really hope they bring that back soon. They also started carrying these at my local Walgreens, but they only had medium and deep, so I don't know what's going on, if they've got like a shortage of the light shade. But the medium shade, I looked at it at Walgreens in person, and it did look not too much darker than this, but maybe just a hair deeper, so that you probably could get away with that one too if you really wanted to try it. But anyway, definitely still a favorite. Really nothing to update you on with that one. And then alongside that, I also mentioned really loving the Profusion Contour Brush. This came in a brush set that was like $20 that I bought last year. I don't think that brush set is sold anymore, but I know they've come out with a bunch of new like eye brushes since then. So I don't think you can get this anymore, unfortunately, but I am still loving it. I use it all the time with this contour stick. I'll just put the product on the brush and then stipple it onto my face. That's the easiest way I found to apply this. I also really like it for cream blush. It's just a good, nice, like kind of dense face brush. Another favorite of mine last August was the Jordana Take Cover Concealer, and I have since completely used that up, but I loved it all the way till the end. I definitely would repurchase it, but I haven't gotten around to repurchasing it yet, just because I have quite a few other concealers that I would like to work through before I repurchase that one. But I will say one that I think is really similar to that is the NYX Born to Glow concealer, and that is actually the one I'm wearing on my under eyes today. Very similar level of coverage, and just the texture is, I find, pretty similar. So if you can't get your hands on the Jordana one, I know it is kind of hard to find, I have found that that one is a pretty good alternative. But another one that is still a favorite so far, all of these are still favorites, is the Becca Highlight in Champagne Pop. I remember buying this last spring, and this is just the mini size. I've actually finally hit pan on this, which I was wondering when that was going to happen because it had a huge dip for a very long time. I've been using this so much ever since I got it. I'm wearing it today. It's beautiful. It's definitely a pretty intense highlighter, but it's so smooth, and it's very hard to describe. It kind of just makes your skin look like glass. I still love it, and I could definitely see myself buying more shades and probably buying this shade again once it's done. When I first got it, I was worried it would be too dark for me because it is kind of a golden highlighter, but it actually works really well for my skin tone. I don't think that it's too dark at all. Another thing that's still a favorite, and this is also actually currently in my project pan, the Red Apple lipstick in Beachside. This is kind of a glossy lipstick. I'm actually wearing this as a cream blush today, but then I did layer another powder blush over it, so I was gonna wear it on my lips, but there's another lip product in this video I'm gonna talk about later that I wanted to wear because it went better with the eye look. But This is such a gorgeous tan nude, and the formula is so creamy. It's basically like a cross between a gloss and a lipstick. Super comfortable. It's a very soft formula, so as you can see, it's kind of like leaning over, which that's the only thing that kind of bothers me about this, but I'm willing to look past that because I love the formula so much. And you can see I feel like it shouldn't take me too much longer to actually finish this up completely. I've had this for a long time, like over 2 years, so that's why I'm trying to use it up, but beautiful formula. It is a little bit pricey. I think these are $25 a piece. So, you know, I would consider that kind of a high-end lipstick, but it's definitely one of my favorite higher-end lip formulas that I've tried. One thing that I no longer have, I did use this up, the Supergoop Everyday Sunscreen. I think they sort of repackaged it, and now it's like the Supergoop Play Everyday Sunscreen or something like that. They also, I think, have reformulated it since then because I think they removed like the oxybenzone or something to make it reef safe. So I'm not sure if my opinion still stands, but I did love that sunscreen. That was like one of my favorite sunscreens at the time, but it did contain fragrance, and I was trying to switch over to mostly a fragrance-free skincare routine. So since then, I actually have found a good fragrance-free alternative to that one. It's very similar, but it's also way cheaper, and it is the Derma E All Sport Performance Face Sunscreen. The only difference is this has SPF 30 and the Supergoop Everyday Sunscreen has SPF 50, so it's a little bit lower of an SPF, but it's very similar in terms of like the active ingredients. They're both chemical sunscreens, very kind of traditional chemical sunscreens, but this one also is oxybenzone and octinoxate free, so most people I think would consider this reef safe. And this one is also water resistant, and it's fragrance free, which I love. This has basically just been my everyday sunscreen lately, especially if I'm just staying indoors most of the day. I'm good with an SPF of 30. If I was gonna be outside all day, I'd probably opt for a higher SPF, but this has been doing the job really well for me. It can be similar to the Supergoop Everyday Sunscreen. It can be a little bit shiny, so if you're not into that, if you prefer something more matte, I wouldn't recommend this, but if you want something really nice and hydrating and definitely not overly greasy, it's fantastic. And it's only like $14, which is definitely on the more affordable end of cruelty-free face sunscreens. So really excited to have found a fragrance-free and cheaper dupe for the Supergoop one. I mean, I don't know if I'd call it an exact dupe, but it's very similar. So another thing that I did use up since then was the Paula's Choice Anti-Redness BHA exfoliant, and that was in their clear line, so it was in the blue bottle. Once I used that one up, I wanted to try out their Skin Perfecting 2% BHA, just their original BHA in this gray bottle, because this is the one that has like a cult following. Like, this is probably the most well-known Paula's Choice product. I know I'm always getting ads for this on YouTube. I actually think that I like the one in the blue bottle a little bit better than this one, believe it or not. They're really similar. The ingredients are slightly different, but they both are 2% BHA. So as far as the active ingredient, you're still getting the same amount. The purpose of both of them is really to help with pores. So it's supposed to sort of shrink your pores, or at least kind of unclog them, reduce the appearance of them, smooth and even out your skin tone, and salicylic acid is also good for acne prone skin. I just felt like the one in the blue bottle was a little bit more effective for me, and that one, it was interesting. When I switched over to this one, I had been applying the one in the blue bottle just with my hands with no problem, but then when I started applying this one with my hands started peeling. Like, the skin on my hands was just like peeling off for days. It was crazy. So there must be something different about this one that makes my skin peel. It doesn't make my face skin peel, it was just my hands, but that was just really strange. So I don't know, but that doesn't really matter. I've just been applying it with a reusable cotton round instead, and it works just as well that way. But I think I would probably go back to the clear 2% BHA once this runs out, but I do really like this one too. I also had a deodorant favorite last year, and the flavor or the scent that I have this time is a different one, but it's the same formula and everything. This is the Zion Health Claydry deodorant in the bold line. So they have like a bold and then like a silk one. The silk one I do not recommend. That one just doesn't work very well for me. This is one of the best kind of natural deodorants that I've tried. I don't really know how I feel about like the natural marketing because I think it can be kind of, I don't know, it's just a marketing term, but it's aluminum free is basically the selling point of this. And it also is vegan, and the scent that I have now is the black cherry. I don't know if it's just this black cherry scent or what happened, but I feel like at least this scent isn't working quite as well for me as the one that I had in the past, which was I think the Sweet Amber. And then I've also had the original one. Both of those I remember working really well, like they would last me the whole day through. But for some reason with this one, by the end of the day, I do feel like I'm needing to reapply. So I have kind of gone back to just using my Certain Dry, which does contain aluminum, especially here in the summer because it's really hot where I live. But I probably would just finish this up in the winter. Honestly, I don't think I would purchase it with my own money at this point just because it's not something I can just like pick up from the drugstore. And Certain Dry I can just buy from my local Walgreens, and it's just a little bit more reliable than this, and I don't really have a problem with aluminum. But all that being said, if you're looking for an aluminum-free deodorant, this is pretty much the best one I found. It's similar to Schmidt's, but I actually like it a little bit better than Schmidt's, and it doesn't stain my clothes quite as badly, although it does still stain them a tiny bit. And then just another little FYI is that this does contain baking soda, but they say it's like a very small amount, and it hasn't irritated my skin at all, even though other baking soda deodorants have. So just putting that out there. And then the final August favorite was this Hairspray from Cake. This is their the Hold Out Flexy Hold Hairspray, and I still really like this. Isn't it, I feel like other people go through Hairspray so much faster than I do. I feel like this is still almost full. Like I don't use Hairspray very often at all, and I'm definitely someone that only really needs like a light flexible hold. I don't like the very crunchy, like stiff hairsprays. I just don't need that. I have very fine hair. My hair holds a curl decently well, so this is all I need. It smells really good, although I have said before about Cake hair products, it's kind of a weird hair smell. Like it smells like cake, sort of vanilla-y cake. While I like the scent, I don't know if it's necessarily a scent that I love in my hair, especially for like shampoo and conditioner, but I do kind of like it for a hairspray. So I don't know, I guess I'm picky. But anyway, I do still really like this hairspray. I use it whenever I do need to use hairspray, which isn't super often, but it's a good thing to have in my collection. Okay, so moving on to my September favorites from last year. This is what I'm wearing on my lips right now, and it's the e.l.f. Gotta Glow Lip Tint in the shade Perfect Berry. I don't think you can buy this shade anymore. I think they only have one shade left. It seems like they might be discontinuing this, which in my opinion is a very bad decision because this is a lovely product. I do still love it. However, sad story today when I went to apply this. So the bullet kind of came loose, and now I don't know why this happens to me so often, but it fell onto the floor after I got done applying it. And I don't know, with the pandemic and everything, I've definitely been erring on the side of caution of being a little bit more of a germaphobe. Not that I wasn't already a little bit of a germaphobe to begin with, but I kind of feel like I should toss it now, because I don't know if you can really sanitize something like this. But I'm sad because I can't repurchase this, and I love it, and it's just a very nice tinted lip balm. It looks really dark, but it's meant to kind of like adjust to the shade of your lips to be your Perfect Berry. I love the shade. Does anybody know if there's a way that I could clean this off? Maybe I could just take some rubbing alcohol on like a cotton pad and just sort of wipe it down. I don't know. What do you guys think I should do? I really don't want to throw it away because I love it. Another e.l.f. favorite, it's so nice to look back and remember like, wow, this is when I discovered all these wonderful products. This is their HD Soft Luminance powder. So they have a regular HD powder, and this is the one called Soft Luminance. I love this. It's been a favorite ever since. I can't remember if this is the second one that I've owned or if I'm still going strong with the first one that I had a year ago. I really cannot for the life of me remember if I've gone through this before or not. But anyway, it's a beautiful finely milled loose powder. It has a tiny bit of a shimmer to it, but it's really, once it's on your skin, it's really undetectable. So, I mean, I know that would be a deal breaker for some people, but I don't mind it at all. And it's just one of those powders that doesn't look like powder. I love with loose powders, I can really use a very small amount that's gonna still set my face evenly, but it's not gonna look cakey or heavy, and it's great for the under eyes, it's great for all over the face. I mean, I've raved about this so much, so you guys already know my feelings on it. A couple more Jordana products. One was their Best Lash Extreme Mascara. That one I had bought for the Jordana Best and Worst video last year, and it's funny because that was kind of like a throwback product. I remember that being so popular on YouTube years ago, and now no one talks about it, so I wanted to try it again and see if it was still any good. And I really did like it, but I haven't bought it again because the brush just wasn't really my style. Like, it's a very, very basic brush with kind of not natural bristles, but people always say natural bristle brushes versus like rubber bristle brushes. I'm pretty sure they're all made of like plastic. I mean, they're not actual natural hairs, but you know what I'm saying. So it's that kind of brush, very, very basic, and the brush would kind of come out very clumpy, which doesn't always bother me, but I felt like I couldn't get a good application with the brush compared to the kind of brushes that I really like, which are usually the more spiky plastic bristle brushes. So that, I haven't repurchased it, but it is a really good, affordable, super affordable option. I think it's like $3. So I would definitely still recommend that, but it just didn't become like, you know, a holy grail. I had also mentioned really loving the Jordana nail polishes, and I still love these. Not the most long wearing formula. I do think that they usually chip after like 3 days, but it kind of depends. But my two favorite shades are still Blue Phantom and Greyt to Wear. Such a weird name, but Greyt to Wear is kind of like a taupey gray, really pretty, but it's also a little bit like a blush color. And then Blue Phantom is just so, it's like this beautiful bright royal blue, really pretty, and I still love those. They have so many shades. I do have a couple of others, but those are still my two favorites, and I still like them, but I do wish they were like a little bit more long wearing. Another one from, oh, this is sad, I forgot about this product, the Physicians Formula Skin Booster Vitamin Shot. They have a few different ones, but mine was the hydrating one that came in like a blue bottle. I used that up last year at some point, and Physicians Formula, their cruelty-free status is kind of, I kind of consider them more of like a gray area brand now, just with some of the information that's come out that I did discuss in a past video that I can link below. It was kind of a long video, but basically My Beauty Bunny, which is one of the main cruelty-free bloggers who has like a cruelty-free brand list, decided to add them back to her cruelty-free brand list because of some new information that she found out. I personally, the more that I've kind of tried to learn about it, the more I still don't think I want to buy from Physicians Formula or Wet n Wild or any of those brands like that, because I don't know if she necessarily had the full story. I don't fully believe that post-market testing doesn't happen in China, and I don't think it, I could go on and on, but anyway, long story short, I don't think I'm going to go back to purchasing from them at this point, but I also can understand the opposite argument, and so that's why I say I kind of look at them as more of a gray area brand now than like, you know, definitely not cruelty-free, because I think that you could look at it in multiple different ways. But anyway, so that I used up. I remember really enjoying it, but now I will say a good alternative to that I've been really liking is the Ordinary Buffet Serum. Definitely different ingredients. I think the Ordinary Buffet Serum is a peptide serum, and the Physicians Formula one was more of a hyaluronic acid serum. I can't remember, but I feel like the Ordinary one serves a very similar purpose in my routine now, which is just kind of hydrating and plumping up my skin a little bit. And so that would be a good alternative to that one if you're looking for one, I think. And yeah, I don't know, I already used it up, so I don't have a whole lot to update you on really. The next favorite from last September was a perfume from Urban Cowboy. It's their Love scent. I do still have this. I actually wore it today because I knew I was going to film this video. And I definitely do still really like this scent. This is like one of the most, I think, affordable cruelty-free perfumes that I know of. I think it's about $20. The only problem is they only have like 2 scents, so definitely not much of a variety, but I really like this scent. It's very kind of sweet, kind of warm. it's just a good scent. I really like it. You can buy this online in a few places. I think I've also seen it in like health food stores, so I don't know, it's not the most accessible either. So I'm really liking this, but lately I've also been really enjoying the Skylar perfumes. They've sent me a few of their scents and I'm really liking those. They have just much more of a variety, but they are pricier also. So yeah, I feel like the affordable cruelty-free perfumes are hard to come by. There's also Pacifica, but their scents just don't last. Like that's always been my experience with those. So they have nice scents, but they have like no staying power. So this one does have good staying power though. So I definitely still like this, still recommend it. The packaging is kind of tacky, but I guess that doesn't really matter. Okay, I also had some kind of miscellaneous favorites last year. The Sappo Hill bar soaps. Those I really liked buying in Seattle because I could just get them at my local grocery store and they were completely zero waste. They just came without any sort of packaging and I would use those on my body, on my hands. Lately I've kind of gotten back into like liquid body washes and liquid hand soaps, especially because sometimes I worry that bar soaps maybe aren't as sanitary as liquid soaps. I don't know if that's really true, but like I said, I've been kind of a little bit more of a germaphobe lately, so I've just been going for liquid options, but I would still recommend those. I think they're kind of local to the Pacific Northwest, so you may be able to find them more easily there, but I just I'm not really able to find them in my area anymore without ordering them online, which kind of defeats the purpose of a zero waste product. So then I had just a couple of like lifestyle favorites. There was this pair of Target lounge pants that I mentioned, and it's so funny to think that last September when I lived in Seattle before I moved back here to Georgia, I was able to wear sweatpants and like long lounge pants because here I'm not gonna be able to do that until like November at the earliest, so maybe late October. So it's kind of sad to think that I won't be able to wear these pants for a very long time. I'm so ready for fall, like real fall. I do still love these. I still have them. They're from the Stars Above brand, and I think they might still sell this exact pair. They're kind of like a jogger pant, and the material is super soft, and yeah, I still love these. Although I do feel like after having washed them quite a few times, they're not quite as soft as they were when I first got them. So those are all of my favorites from last August and September, just some kind of updated thoughts on them. Most of them I still love, still use regularly. So I hope this video was helpful. If you enjoyed it, definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I'd love to see you again soon, and I will talk to you next time. Bye.